So I got this 6-liter on the stand today. I'm gonna be pulling it apart. I personally pulled it out of a 2005 Chevy and it ran and drove nice, but it had lower oil pressure, so it's something I gotta look at when I get into it. But the main thing I wanted to do is tear it down, gap the rings, give the cylinders a quick hone. I got cam and springs and head gaskets and an oil pump for it. New lifters, you know, there's a few things, but it's not getting a lot. So it's time to start on this. I talked to PTC. They're pretty much done my converter, so they're gonna be shipping it out. I should have it next week. Rear end is done, sitting on the stands. So I need to get this done. And hopefully by then we get the transmission and motor bolted up and thrown back in here. So I better get at it. So this one has pistons with valve reliefs. That was kind of different. The cam retaining plate was a little different as well. And cam overall looks pretty decent, so I don't know if I want to look too hard in there. Might jinx it. So there'll be a few things to clean up. And get these pistons out of here. Try to turn this engine stand over. There we go. It's got the Gen 4 rods in it, so it's like a weird crossover here. Gen 3.5. We'll go from there, but if you haven't seen Russ's video on his teardown and cam installation, you should go check that out. It's a few videos back on that square body. He does a lot better video on how they come apart and install a cam on it. So give that a check. So I have it tore down now. I went a little farther than I wanted to. I checked the mains. Make sure there's nothing crazy going on. These cylinder walls look great. I tried not to look at the cam bearings too hard, but these cylinder walls look great. And just use a little cleanup. So yeah, I'm gonna get some of the parts cleaned up and we can move on. So I was just curious, the top ring already has 26 thou ring gap. I'm gonna be shooting for 28 on the top and 30 for the bottom ring. So we'll have to get the block honed up and then file fit each one individually. I'm gonna take the knock sensors out, and these holes were just completely covered in shit. And now I stripped that one getting it out, so now I'm gonna have to weld a washer on there and a nut and clean up some of this corrosion a little bit better before I try it again. Wouldn't be such a big deal. I'm not running knock sensors anyway, but I did already buy a cover for it and I'd like to utilize it. But if this was anything else, I would just I'd throw the other knock sensor in there or whatever and just leave this bolted down. Well, it wasn't really what I planned on doing, welding on the knock sensors to get them out, but what do? I already bought the ICT billet knock sensor eliminator cover, so that's what I got to do to get it out. So it took a little while, but I got it. Don't need this anymore. Can't see you.
I'm all fogged up.
Well, we're getting fancy here cleaning some stuff. 862 heads. Just gonna rip. Use the inbuilt. Block is bare. I ended up getting some bearings for it. They didn't look good. It's gonna be a bunch of different clips of me doing different pre-assembly stuff and putting it together. I can't just hammer it off in one stretch because I'm working. So I gotta do what I can do in the time that I have. So I'm gonna be honing it. File fitting the rings. I got these 862 heads to get the springs off and get the new 660 dual springs on there. Clean up some more stuff. I gotta check clearances on the crank and rod bearings. As you can see, there's tons of ring gap there. Most of them are 28 to 32 thou on the top ring and between 30 and 35 thou on the bottom ring, so should work out pretty good. Just wanted to clarify it. Quick lap job. Got the new valve seals on. Using this sketchy spring compressor tool I built for the last motor I did. Should probably get a real one, but it works. Just gotta be careful. If you guys don't have one of these, I recommend it. They're awesome for putting pistons in. Press that down. Just like that. Complete. This is the cam I'm going to be using. It's Summit Stage 3 Turbo Cam. I haven't used this one personally myself. We're going to try to utilize the 7,500 RPM range somewhere up there. That's that. So put a little bit of lube on it and slide it in. New oil pump and O-ring, new rear main. I got to go weld the bung in the oil pan before I install it for the turbo drain, and I'm waiting on push rods, so I might get that bung welded in tonight and flip it over and maybe get the heads on and have to wait for push rods and stuff, so I'm gonna go weld that in right now. Pan is on. Here's that bung I welded on. It's time for the head gaskets. I'm going to spray these on anyway. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what I'm doing. I did it last time. These are the LS9 head gaskets. They're like a 7-layer, multi-layer steel gasket. You can pretty much put them on all the LSs. I think they work. I had good luck with them last time. And then we'll throw these 862s on. And I ended up getting new push rods. These ones were really wore out. You can see on the ends how they're kind of egg-shaped or out around. So we're going to put new push rods in it as well. Since we're here with the new lifters and cam, I might as well have push rods. So I was really close to the end, so I just hammered it out, torqued down the heads, everything's on there. A little bit of steam port stuff to do. So here's the finished product. Here's the 6-liter, ready to go in. I ended up getting the radiator for it. So in the next video, I might show me fitting the intercooler and radiator into the rad support while I'm waiting. The converter was shipped out, so I'm just waiting on that. Who knows, with Canada shipping, we might get it. It might be a week yet, so once I get that, I can bolt the 6-liter and Turbo 400 together and slide her in there. Pretty excited about that. Here's the new master cylinder. Decided to go manual brakes. We'll give that a shot. If I don't like it, I can always go back. I got proportioning valve, I think I showed, but I got new brake lines and stuff. Lots of stuff to go in. Spring's coming, so you guys better get your stuff ready. If you could like, comment, subscribe, that would be great. It'd be helpful for the channel.